and I was like a slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won.
It's really going down now. Cassie just busted wide open the secret life of Diddy, and the courtroom is straight up shook. This ain't just about wild parties or celeb drama. Nah, this is some real-life nightmare stuff. We're talking blackmail, male trafficking, beatdowns, and a hidden freak-off dungeon that's got jurors locked in, jaws dropped, and the internet losing its mind. This ain't no messy breakup story or tabloid clickbait. This is a federal RICO case. And Cassie? She didn't just take the stand, she blew up what the industry's been hiding for years. Remember back in November 2023 when she filed that civil suit against Diddy? That one that got shut down fast with a $20 million payout. Everyone thought it was over. But nope. That was just round one. Now Cassie's back, and this time she's under oath in federal court, laying it all out. She's spilling over 10 years worth of secrets. Everything from being drugged and passed around in 5-star hotels, to getting yanked by her hair in public, to watching Diddy play sick games with her emotions right there on a packed commercial flight. Each word she speaks is tearing down Diddy's image, one twisted freak-off at a time. And here's the wildest part. These freak-offs, they weren't just casual hookups or wild nights. According to Cassie and other witnesses, this was a whole network. A full-blown operation of coercion, blackmail, trafficking, and hush cash, all run by a man the world once called a music mogul. So now it's time to dive into the dark, disturbing truth behind this so-called freak-off dungeon, and why this trial could be the final blow that crashes Diddy's whole empire. Cassie Ventura, the government's key witness, was on that stand for days. By the end, she broke down in tears. The jury sat frozen. And Diddy's team? They looked like they'd just seen a ghost. Cassie kicked it all off with a gut-wrenching confession. 2 years ago, she almost took her own life. She said she left her home that day ready to walk straight into traffic. The flashbacks had her spiraling, and she just couldn't take it anymore. But her husband, Alex Fine, stepped in and stopped her. That moment pushed her into therapy and gave her the strength to finally speak her truth. Now we already heard whispers about those freak-offs, but this time, Cassie took it way deeper. She revealed that Diddy used explicit videos to trap her.
You're the most credible person we have. You're Diddy's ex-bodyguard. Tell the folks, man. You don't want to say much? Come on,
you already
Gene.
did it, Playboy.
Come on, Gene. You're always saying something. Give him something here. What do you think? You think Diddy's going to get off, or you think what are we looking like?
I think the prosecution is doing a great job. They need to keep up the good work.
Right.
I think they went real lenient on them because they could have went way more charges than they did, and that's it.
Anytime she tried to break free, or was even seen with another man, he threatened to leak that footage. One time she got close to Kid Cudi, and boom, Diddy snapped. Told her straight up, if you don't act right, I'll drop those tapes, and I'll blow up Cudi's car. And no joke, Kid Cudi's car actually exploded in his driveway. Yeah, that happened. In court, Cassie broke down as she talked about a flight where Diddy tried to humiliate her in front of strangers. Right there on a commercial plane, this man pulled out one of those freak-off videos and played it just a few feet away from passengers, all because they had an argument earlier that day. That's not just petty. That's twisted on a whole other level. She said it felt like she was stuck in his kingdom, like his world was built to control and destroy her. And she wasn't exaggerating when she called it a freak-off. It wasn't just a few wild nights, it was a full-blown system, organized, controlled, and locked in. According to Cassie, these freak-offs went down everywhere. Hotels, penthouses, private homes, and even Diddy's own mansion. Cities like New York, LA, Vegas, Ibiza, Miami, even luxury island spots like Turks and Caicos. Sometimes it was in high-end hotels, other times it was right in his house. Cassie said the setup was like clockwork. Diddy's staff handled everything. They'd prep the rooms with Astroglide baby oil, condoms, all the freak-off essentials. And if anything ran out, no problem. They'd hit up the hotel concierge or call security to bring in more. But here's the real disturbing part. According to Cassie, Both the hotel workers and Diddy's team knew exactly what was going down, and they were in on it. She even said she had to do the dirty work herself. She was the one who searched for escorts online, picked the girls, showed Diddy their photos for approval. And once he gave the green light, she booked their flights, handled the rooms, and made sure they got paid. The rates, anywhere from $1,500 to $6,000, always in cash, no paper trails. Cassie never told the staff what actually happened inside the rooms, but they knew. They were the ones scrubbing everything down after, restocking supplies, handling entry points. Some even stood guard outside the door like security at a secret club. Then came Carrie Morgan, Cassie's ex-best friend of 17 years, who took the stand and dropped even more heat. She testified that she once saw Diddy drag Cassie down a 50-yard hallway by her hair, just because she took too long in the bathroom, and that wasn't even the worst of it. Morgan said that after the infamous 2016 Intercontinental Hotel incident, Diddy straight up showed up at Cassie's LA apartment, holding a hammer. She said she looked through the peephole and saw him banging on the door, wild-eyed, trying to bust in. It didn't matter who was inside, he just didn't care. And it got darker, Morgan said in 2018, while at Cassie's house, Diddy snapped again. This time, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and smacked her in the head with a wooden hanger, all while screaming about Cassie cheating. She said she ended up in urgent care with a concussion, vomiting, dizzy, and that was the breaking point. That's when their friendship was done for good. Things took a wild turn when Carrie Morgan dropped a shocker. She claimed Cassie offered her $30,000 to sign an NDA and never speak on what she saw. But the heat didn't stop there. Diddy's former personal assistant, David James, came through with serious receipts.
What do you think about Dawn Richard? Miss Westmoreland was like, the lawyer was destroying her on the stand, her credibility. She had 8 different times she met with the feds, and they're like, why did you not mention anything about Diddy threatening your life and all that time? Do you believe Dawn Richard?
A lot of people are traumatized, man. You know, you got to look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at something that this guy holding their life in their hands.
Right, and that makes a difference. Hey, I appreciate you, man.
He worked 20-hour shifts at Bad Boy Entertainment, and what he described was more like a cult than a company. He told the court that during his first week, an exec pointed at a photo of Diddy and said, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We're all here to serve it." According to James, Diddy's whole squad ran like a military unit. His head of security, Uncle Paulie, kept a sawed-off on him, and the rest of the crew were strapped with legal weapons too. David said he once overheard Diddy talking about Cassie like she was his property. He allegedly said, "I got her right where I want her. She's young. She's very moldable." Chilling words. Cassie told David she couldn't leave. Diddy controlled her whole life. He funded her music, gave her an allowance, and even paid her rent. James broke down crying on the stand, saying he once saw Cassie smile like a little kid over a track list she made, proud of her work. But then, just like that, she vanished back into what he called the kingdom. And then, things went nuclear. Cassie testified that one of the male escorts she was forced to sleep with during a freakoff, a man named Jonathan Oye, later tested positive for herpes. Oye sued Diddy after catching the STD and claimed Cassie often had mouth sores after their encounters, implying she may have had it too, but never told him. Oye ended up signing an NDA for $5 million, hush money to keep the herpes case sealed away from the public eye. Cassie admitted in court that she did have relations with Oye, and now that detail links medical harm directly to those freak-offs. That's a potential bombshell in the racketeering case. And now, it ain't just about Diddy and Cassie anymore. This thing is spreading fast. Usher's name just got dragged into the mess. He used to stay at Diddy's mansion all the time, and now 3 women have accused him of giving them herpes. Those lawsuits, they vanished without much noise. But now, with Diddy's freak-off dungeon coming to light, people are connecting the dots and side-eyeing everything. There's no official proof that Usher took part in those freak-offs, but with his name swirling around this madness, folks online ain't buying that it's just coincidence.
Yeah, how big is Diddy?
Whoa.
Wow. You're going too far. Yeah, man. I want to get my ass beat for 10 million. I want to get my ass beat for 10 million.
Meanwhile, prosecutors dropped a bombshell. They leaked injury photos of Cassie to the press, and they're brutal. We're talking gashes over her eye, busted lips, real damage. In court, Cassie laid out how the freakoffs weren't just private hotel parties. Nah, she said escorts were flown across state lines just for these setups. Diddy's team handled the travel, flights, hotels under fake names, the works. Cassie approved the girls, handled the payouts, all in cash. After the freak-offs, Diddy's people would come clean up the mess. But here's the kicker. That setup matches exactly what federal law calls trafficking: coercion, interstate transport, and commercial acts. Legal experts are saying this isn't just some wild celebrity scandal. This might be organized crime on a whole new level. And the paper trail. It runs through Diddy's business, budgets, offices, employees. That gives prosecutors even more ammo. They're saying Diddy wasn't just being reckless. He was running a whole system, a machine powered by fear, blackmail, loyalty, and money. And Cassie, she wasn't the only one locked in silence. Her ex-best friend, Carrie Morgan, testified that after Diddy allegedly choked her and smacked her with a wooden hanger back in 2018, Cassie offered her $30,000 to keep quiet. But Carrie says that cash didn't come from Cassie. It came straight from Diddy, funneled through her to shut things down. That payout sounds a lot like the $5 million Diddy paid Jonathan Oye, the escort who caught herpes and signed an NDA. Diddy's former assistant, David James, said the whole bad boy office, it didn't feel like a label. It felt like a cult. Inside Diddy's world, questioning the boss just wasn't an option. You didn't ask what was happening in the studio late at night. You didn't bring up what went down in Miami, Vegas, or Turks and Caicos. According to what execs told David James, this was Mr. Combs' kingdom, and everyone was just there to serve it. That kingdom ran with tight security. His head of security, Uncle Paulie, was always strapped, and nobody crossed the man in charge. What Diddy had wasn't just fame or power. It was an empire built on fear and manipulation. Outside the courtroom, more voices started speaking up. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, was asked how he felt about the prosecution's case. He didn't hold back. "They're doing a great job," he said. "The truth's gotta come out." Gene also fired shots at Diddy's defense team, especially for the way they tried to tear down the credibility of Dawn Richard, the former Danity Kane member. She bravely testified that Diddy once beat Cassie with a skillet full of eggs. But instead of focusing on her story, the media turned real messy. Right outside the courthouse, a reporter straight up asked Dawn about Diddy's manhood, ignoring her testimony about abuse. That's the kind of twisted distraction that keeps these men untouchable. Instead of holding them accountable, people change the subject. Dawn herself said it best. "I want to get my ass beat for $10 million. That's how messed up this all is. A woman speaks out about being attacked, and the media wants gossip instead of justice. And just when you thought things couldn't get weirder, an old clip popped up online. Diddy getting an IV drip while kissing his mom on the lips. He says, "I'm freshly dipped," while she giggles next to him. Now, maybe it's unrelated, or maybe, just maybe, it says everything. People can draw their own conclusions, but let's be real. That clip of Diddy kissing his mom while hooked up to an IV, it gave off weird vibes. And now folks are saying, if that's how he acts in private, imagine what really went down in that dungeon. And this is where it takes a terrifying turn. Dawn Richard testified that Diddy once told her, "I can make people disappear." Let that sink in. She said after seeing his violence and the way he used fear to control everyone, it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like a threat with real weight.
The drip with me, she's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Dawn's testimony backed up everything Cassie and Carrie already laid out. The same threats, the same sick control. The pattern is loud and clear. Legal experts now say prosecutors aren't just trying to prove abuse, They're going after Diddy under RICO. That's the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, and it means this goes way beyond personal drama. To land a RICO charge, they've got to prove this wasn't just a toxic relationship. It was a whole criminal operation. They're talking commercial sex, moving people across state lines, using threats, blackmail, hush money, financial control, all wrapped in a business that looked legit on the surface. And guess what? They've already mapped the trafficking patterns. They've got the NDAs, the cash payoffs, and the use of assistants, bodyguards, travel agents. All of it shows infrastructure. That's what RICO is all about, proving it's not just chaos, it's organized crime. Now Diddy's camp is in panic mode. They're trying to spin it as just kinky, not criminal. But let's keep it real. When your own staff is flying in escorts, your execs are talking about beatings, and you're threatening to leak tapes to control people, that ain't just freaky. That's straight up criminal enterprise behavior. It doesn't matter how kinky Diddy's team tries to frame it. These charges are serious. We're talking conspiracy, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transporting people for illegal acts. And if he's found guilty on even one of them, that's decades behind bars. But all of them combined, that's not just a slap on the wrist. That's a real-life sentence. No mansion, no studio, just concrete and steel. And here's the bigger picture. This case ain't just about Diddy anymore. It's about setting a precedent. If Diddy goes down, it sends a clear message to every other high-powered exec who's been hiding behind NDAs and stacks of hush money. Your time is up. RICO charges aren't just for mob bosses now. They're for moguls, too. This is the same exact playbook the feds used to tear down the mafia. And guess what? Insiders say they're already looking at other big names tied to this underground network. This might just be the start. Even if Diddy somehow walks free, the damage is already done. His brand? Cooked. Artists are jumping ship. Sponsors have vanished. Revolt TV? Frozen. Public support? Gone. You don't just bounce back from federal racketeering cases involving escorts, herpes rumors, and hammer-wielding meltdowns. And now the internet's digging up his whole past. Even old friends like 50 Cent are throwing shade, dropping cryptic posts and clowning Diddy online like they know what's next. Inside the courtroom, things are intense. Reporters say the jury looks straight up wrecked. Some members were visibly disturbed while Cassie poured her heart out, especially when she talked about Diddy playing freak-off videos mid-flight to humiliate her. Others winced when Carrie Morgan described getting choked and hit. This isn't just a trial, it's a breakdown of a whole empire, live in front of the world. And when those injury photos lit up the projector, jurors looked away. That's the kind of pain you feel. It don't get lost in legal talk or fancy contracts. It sticks. Because this ain't just about sex. This was always about control. Diddy used power to humiliate, to dominate, and to remind people they belong to him. He used cash to trap them, fame to blind them, and fear to lock them in. His love? It was a leash. Cassie said he called her young and moldable. That ain't no compliment. That's a predator talking like he's building a toy, not loving a person. But guess what? That project broke free and burned the blueprints. David James, the former assistant, cried on the stand remembering Cassie's smile when she thought her music would finally be heard. That moment said it all. This trial, it's about a woman who lost her voice, then came back swinging, loud enough for the whole world to hear. Carrie Morgan lost a 17-year friendship just for being too close to the truth. Dawn Richard risked her whole career by standing up and saying what others were too scared to whisper. And the prosecution? They did not come to play. They rolled in with tapes, photos, testimony, and a case so solid it's hitting like a wrecking ball. If justice is real, it's coming down hard on Diddy's head. This isn't just one man falling. This is a whole system being exposed, an industry built to protect the untouchable. Bigger than Weinstein, bigger than R. Kelly. This might be the biggest celebrity takedown yet. So if you believe Cassie and others deserve justice, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment with your take on the case. Who else do you think knew? And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because we've got more coming. If Cassie's brave enough to risk it all to speak out, the least we can do is listen. See you on the next one.